First off, I like the softness of her shadows are really nice. I think they look really good, especially on the plate. There's kind of a soft edge, and we can see here that there's a strong shadow all along here. Now, something I'd like us to note, though, is on this side, is there a shadow or is that all a highlight? All right there is a highlight. So that wouldn't be a line, that would be lighter than everything else. So one way she could do this is have this all shaded kind of a light gray and leave that area white. So she could punch her darks darker, right? Looks like she stuck with one pencil that was pretty light because I can tell that she pushed kind of hard on areas with it. So using a darker pencil, like a softer pencil, like a B, 2B, or 4B to get the darks darker, because this is really dark. This is really, really dark. If we look at this, let's look at this photo actually in black and white. This really shows us how dark and light some areas are. And then you can go, oh, well, look, this is a white shape here. This white shape kind of continues on here. And then look too, you have one shadow that's darker. And then if you look carefully, there's another little shadow that's like a softer gray that's kind of matching there too for the cheese. And the same on this cheese. Oops, I didn't want to do that. Edit forward. So we have this darker shadow. And then again, if you look really carefully, there's a slightly gray, like lighter gray shadow that almost matches the white of the plate. So those little details we can spot and kind of use to help ourselves learn and grow. We can also see then how dark our bread and our fruit is compared to the plate. So what I would challenge Elsie to do is push her darks darker. Don't be afraid of them. We've got, she can spot the shadows, right? She caught the shadow of the apple here, and that's working. But like, how dark is this edge of the orange? And there is actually a bit of a dark kind of gray line that goes all the way here. And then all of this is the same tone. So there wouldn't be this edge here. It would actually just all be a matching tone. So don't be afraid to go darker. Remember, these are exercises. They're not necessarily about finished works of art that you're hanging on a wall. So it's okay if you go too dark. It's okay if you make a mistake. That's part of how we're going to grow. So don't be tentative. Don't be afraid of kind of pushing yourself a little more strongly. If you're often really dark, maybe then you stop shading before you really feel like you should. Or if you know that you run where you kind of don't put things dark enough, then how can you layer that and make sure that you're pushing your darks darker? Being aware of your tendency is going to help your skill as well and help you build that work. So again, kind of there's no line on this apple. It's that all of this part of the apple is pretty much the same value. And then we've got kind of a darker area here, and then you've got a backlight area. And this is kind of a middle gray area. So you can kind of look at it for the lights and darks and see where they are. I will say I really do enjoy the line quality again that Elsie has. There's a highlight back there too. And there's no line. You don't actually see a line or an edge separating the orange here. It actually starts right here where the apple starts to get darker. So you don't need to make a line that divides the two. It should just stop because all of that is the same tone.